بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والمرسلات عرفا فالعاصفات عصفا والناشرات نشرا فالفارقات فرقا فالملقيات ذكرا عذرا أو نذرا إنما توعدون لواقع فإذا النجوم طمست وإذا السماء فرجت وإذا الجبال نسفت وإذا الرسل أقتت لأي يوم أجلت ليوم الفصل وما أدراك ما يوم الفصل ويل يومئذ للمكذبين.
Translation: By those sent forth with beneficence, and those that strike violently, by those who scatter far and wide, and those angels who bring criterion, by those who deliver a reminder, leaving no excuse and giving warning, what you are promised will surely come to pass. So when the stars are extinguished, and when the sky is torn apart, and when the mountains are scattered like dust, and when the messengers are summoned, until what day have these events been deferred? Until the day of judgment. And how could you know what the day of judgment is? Woe that day to the deniers. Interpretation: Here Allah, the Exalted, attests to the resurrection and requital for deeds by means of an oath, swearing by those sent forth with beneficence, namely the angels whom Allah, the Exalted, sends to carry out his decrees and control the universe, and to convey his religious decree by bringing his revelation to his messengers. With beneficence, this describes those who are sent forth. What is meant is that they are sent forth with what is right, with wisdom and with that which is in people's best interests. They are not sent with anything bad or in vain. And those that strike violently. This also refers to the angels whom Allah, the Exalted, sends and whom he describes as hastening to do as he commands, quickly carrying out his commands like a strong wind. This may also refer to powerful winds that have strong gusts. By those who scatter far and wide. It may be that this refers to the angels who scatter what they are meant to scatter. The word translated as scatter may also mean revive, in which case it may refer to the clouds by means of which Allah revives the earth and brings it back to life after its death. By those who deliver a reminder, this refers to the angels who bring down the most sublime of commands, namely the reminder, revelation, by means of which Allah bestows mercy upon his slaves and reminds them of that which will benefit them and is in their best interests. Those angels bring it down to the messengers, leaving no excuse and giving warning to people. They warn people of what lies ahead of frightening things and leave them no excuse, so that they will have no argument before Allah. What you are promised of the resurrection and requital for deeds will surely come to pass. That is, it is inevitable, beyond any shadow of a doubt. When it comes to pass, there will be changes in the universe and immense horror that will be extremely alarming and will cause great distress. The stars will be extinguished, that is, they will be scattered and moved from their places. The mountains will be blown away and will become like scattered dust, and they and the earth will become a smooth, leveled plain, in which you will see no depression or elevation. That day is the day on which the messengers will be summoned, the day until which judgment between them and their nations is deferred. Hence Allah says, until what day have these events been deferred? This appears in the form of a question in order to highlight the gravity and seriousness of the matter. Then Allah answers that question by saying, until the day of judgment, between all creatures, between one and another, and the day of reckoning for each of them individually. Then he warns those who deny in that day, woe that day to the deniers. That is, how great will be their loss, how severe their punishment and how terrible their end. Allah told them of it and swore to them that it would surely come, but they did not believe him. Therefore they will deserve the severe punishment.
أَلَمْ نُهْلِكِ الْأَوَّلِينَ ثُمَّ نُتْبِعُهُمُ الْآخِرِينَ كَذَلِكَ نَفْعَلُ بِالْمُجْرِمِينَ وَيْلٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِلْمُكَذِّبِينَ.
Translation: Did we not destroy the earlier, disbelieving, nations? And we will do likewise to later ones. Thus we deal with the revilers. Woe that day to the deniers. Interpretation: Did we not destroy the earlier, disbelieving, nations? That is, did we not destroy the earlier disbelievers? And we will follow that with the destruction of those among the later nations who disbelieve. This is his way of dealing with the earlier and later generations. Every evildoer is inevitably punished. So why do they not learn from what they see and hear? Woe that day to the deniers, who denied the truth after they saw the clear signs and exemplary punishments.
أَلَمْ نَخْلُقكُّم مِّن مَّاءٍ مَّهِينٍ فَجَعَلْنَاهُ فِي قَرَارٍ مَّكِينٍ إِلَى قَدَرٍ مَّعْلُومٍ فَقَدَرْنَا فَنِعْمَ الْقَادِرُونَ وَيْلٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِّلْمُكَذِّبِينَ.
Translation: Did we not create you from an insignificant fluid, which we placed in a safe repository for an appointed term? For we are able to do this. How excellent is our power! Woe that day to the deniers. Interpretation: That is, did we not create you, O humans, from an insignificant fluid, that is, one that is regarded as very base, that originates from between the backbone and the ribs, until Allah places it in a safe repository, namely the womb, where it settles and grows, for an appointed term and a set length of time. For we are able to do this, and we care for that fetus in those layers of darkness, transforming it from a drop of semen to a clinging clot to a lump of flesh, until Allah makes it a fully developed body, then He breathes the soul into it, and some of them die before that. How excellent is our power, that operates in accordance with His wisdom. Woe that day to the deniers, who deny the truth after Allah has explained the signs to them and shown them lessons and clear proof.
أَلَمْ نَجْعَلِ الْأَرْضَ كِفَاتًا أَحْيَاءً وَأَمْوَاتًا وَجَعَلْنَا فِيهَا رَوَاسِيَ شَامِخَاتٍ وَأَسْقَيْنَاكُم مَّاءً فُرَاتًا وَيْلٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِّلْمُكَذِّبِينَ.
Translation: Have we not made the earth a receptacle for the living and the dead, and set therein lofty mountains standing firm, and given you fresh water to drink? Woe that day to the deniers. Interpretation: That is, have we not blessed you and bestowed favors upon you by subjugating the earth in your best interests? Therefore we made it a receptacle for you, for the living, in houses, and the dead, in graves. As houses and palaces are among the blessings that Allah has bestowed upon His slaves, graves are, in like manner, a mercy to them and a covering for them, lest their bodies be exposed to wild animals and the like. And set therein lofty mountains standing firm, that is, mountains that make the earth firm, lest it shake with its people. Allah has made it steady by means of high mountains that stand firm, and given you fresh water to drink, that is, water that is sweet and palatable. Allah, the Exalted, says elsewhere, Have you thought about the water that you drink? Is it you who bring it down from the clouds, or is it we who send it down? If we so willed, we could make it salty and bitter. Why then do you not give thanks? Al-Waqi'ah 56, verses 68 to 70. Woe that day to the deniers, who, despite all that Allah has shown them of blessings that are bestowed by Allah alone, for which He singled them out, responded with denial and rejection.
انطلقوا إلى ما كنتم به تكذبون انطلقوا إلى ظل ذي ثلاث شعب لا ظليل ولا يغني من اللهب إنها ترمي بشرر كالقصر كأنه جمالة صفر ويل يومئذ للمكذبين.
Translation: It will be said to them, Proceed to that which you used to deny, proceed to a shadow of smoke, ascending in 3 columns, that offers no shade or protection from the flames. Verily it, hell, throws out sparks as big as castles, as if they were a herd of tawny camels. Woe that day to the deniers. Interpretation: This is part of the fate that has been prepared for the evildoers and deniers. It will be said to them on the day of resurrection, Proceed to that which you used to deny. Then Allah explains that by saying, Proceed to a shadow of smoke, ascending in 3 columns, that is, proceed to a shadow of the fire of hell, which will separate into 3 columns. It will have pieces of fire thrown into it, running through it and uniting with it. That offers no shade, that is, that shadow will offer no comfort and bring no ease, or protection from the flames. That is, that shadow will offer no protection from the flames. Rather, flames will surround people on all sides, right and left. This is like the verses in which Allah, the Exalted, says, they will have layers of fire above them and beneath them. Al-Zumar 39, verse 16. And also Allah says, they will have a bed of hellfire and over them will be coverings of fire. Thus we requite the wrongdoers. Al-Araf 7, verse 41. Then Allah mentions the great size of the sparks of hell, which is indicative of its huge size, terrible nature and horrifying appearance. Verily it, hell, throws out sparks as big as castles, as if they were a herd of tawny camels. The word translated here as tawny refers to a black color with a hint of yellow. This indicates that the flames, coals and sparks of hell are dark, and that it is black, terrible in appearance and extremely hot. We ask Allah to keep us safe from it and from the deeds that would bring us close to it. Woe that day to the deniers.
هذا يوم لا ينطقون ولا يؤذن لهم فيعتذرون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين هذا يوم الفصل جمعناكم والأولين فإن كان لكم كيد فكيدون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين.
Translation: This is a day on which they will not speak, nor will they be permitted to offer excuses. Woe that day to the deniers! It will be said to them, this is the day of judgment. You have been gathered together with those of old. So if you have any stratagem, try to outwit me. Woe that day to the deniers! Interpretation: This is a day on which they will not speak. That is, this is a momentous day that is difficult for the deniers. They will not speak on that day out of intense fear and dread. Nor will they be permitted to offer excuses. That is, their excuses will not be accepted from them even if they offer them. As Allah says elsewhere, on that day, no excuse will benefit those who did wrong, nor will they be allowed to make amends. Ar-Rum 30, verse 57. It will be said to them, this is the day of judgment. You have been gathered together with those of old, so that we may pass judgment among you and judge between all people. So if you have any stratagem, by which you can escape my dominion and be safe from my punishment, try to outwit me. But you have no power or authority. This is like the verse in which Allah, the Exalted, says, O jinn and humans, if you are able to pass beyond the confines of the heavens and the earth, then do so. But you cannot pass beyond them unless you have power. Ar-Rahman 55, verse 33. On that day, all efforts of the wrongdoers will be to no avail, and their stratagems and schemes will fail. They will submit to the punishment of Allah, and it will become clear to them that they were lying in their denial. Woe that day to the deniers!
إن المتقين في ظلال وعيون وفواكه مما يشتهون كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما كنتم تعملون إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين ويل يومئذ للمكذبين.
Translation: Verily the righteous will be amidst shade and springs, and will have any fruits that they may desire. It will be said to them, eat and drink with enjoyment, as a reward for your deeds. Thus do we reward those who do good. Woe that day to the deniers! Interpretation: Having mentioned the punishment of the disbelievers, Allah now mentions the reward of those who did good. Verily the righteous, who did not deny the truth and who were believers in word and deed. They cannot be like that unless they do that which is obligatory and refrain from that which is prohibited. Will be amidst shade, that is, with a lot of various, elegant, beautiful trees, and springs, flowing freely, of wine mixed with ginger, nectar, and so on. And will have any fruits that they may desire, of the best and most wholesome types of fruits. And it will be said to them, eat and drink of delicious food and drink, with enjoyment, that is, without any kind of trouble to spoil it. Enjoyment cannot be complete unless the food and drink is free of all faults and defects, and until one is certain that it will never end and never cease. As a reward for your deeds are the reason that brought you to this eternal bliss. This is for everyone who did well in worshipping Allah and treated the slaves of Allah kindly. Hence he says, thus do we reward those who do good. Woe that day to the deniers. If nothing resulted from that woe except being deprived of this blessing, that would be sufficient deprivation and loss.
كلوا وتمتعوا قليلا إنكم مجرمون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين وإذا قيل لهم اركعوا لا يركعون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين فبأي حديث بعده يؤمنون.
Translation: Eat and enjoy yourselves for a little while, if vileders that you are. Woe that day to the deniers. When it is said to them, bow, in prayer, they do not bow. Woe that day to the deniers. In what message after this, Quran, will they then believe? Interpretation: This is a threat and a warning to the deniers that even if they eat, drink, and enjoy the pleasures in this world, but they neglect acts of worship, they are revileders who deserve the punishment of revileders. So their pleasures will cease and they will suffer the consequences. Part of their evil-doing is that when they were enjoined to pray, which is one of the noblest acts of worship, and it was said to them, bow, in prayer, they refused to do so. What evil-doing can be worse than this? What denial can be greater than this? Woe that day to the deniers. Part of that woe is that the door of divine help and guidance is closed to them and they are deprived of all good. If they reject this holy Quran, which is of the highest level of credibility and certainty, then in what message after this, Quran, will they then believe? Will they believe in falsehood on which no specious argument can be based, let alone any sound evidence? Or will they believe in the words of every lying polytheist and blatant sinner? There can be nothing after clear light except deep darkness, and nothing after truth, to the credibility of which all proof and evidence testify, except blatant lies and clear fabrication, that are not appropriate for anyone except one who is in harmony with them. May they perish how blind they are, and how lost and doomed they are. We ask Allah to pardon us and grant us well-being. This is the end of the commentary on Surah Al-Mursalat. All praise and thanks are for Allah, and may the blessings and peace of Allah be upon Prophet Muhammad, his family, and his companions abundantly until the Day of Judgment.